Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources. Updating daily noontime New York City.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
January 30th, 11:16 America, New York. The U.S. consumer is starting to freak out. The flush savings accounts and cheap credit that helped keep Americans spending at high rates since 2020 are disappearing, while inflation remains elevated.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
January 30th, 10:27 America, New York. Ford cuts prices of EV Mustang Mach-E. The move comes weeks after Tesla reduced prices on a number of its models.
Daily FX Market News.
January 30th, 10:20 America, New York. Gold price outlook. ZAO, USD bulls tamed by psychological resistance. Gold prices gapped higher on this week's open, fueling bullish momentum. However, after retesting $1,950, prices have eased. What next for ZAO, USD?
New York Times Business. January 30th, 9:43 America, New York. The pandemic used car boom is coming to an abrupt end. Dealerships are seeing sales and prices drop as consumers tighten their belts, putting financial pressure on companies like Carvana that grew fast in recent years. An empty 8-story Carvana tower in Denver.
Global economy.
January 30th, 8:27 America, New York. 3 ways to read the deglobalization debate. Proponents of business as usual and the new Cold Warriors are too confident of their ability to predict the future.
BBC News Business.
January 30th, 8:04 America, New York. Review of BBC economic coverage finds concerns but no systematic bias. A report into BBC reporting of government financial policies finds weaknesses, but no systemic bias.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
January 30th, 8 o'clock America, New York. Trade-offs are omnipresent, even with COVID. My findings show that for-profit nursing homes had less restrictive isolation measures during the pandemic than did not-for-profit nursing homes, and that the increase in non-COVID deaths caused by more restrictive isolation measures outweighed the decrease in COVID-19 deaths associated with these measures.
New York Times Business.
January 30th, 8 o'clock America, New York. Adani loses billions after attack by a short seller, Hindenburg Research. The Adani Group, the Indian conglomerate run by Asia's wealthiest man, has gone on the offensive to fight fraud allegations by an American investor. Gautam Adani, Asia's wealthiest man, has lost billions in his battle with a short seller.
Daily FX Market News.
January 30th, 8 o'clock America, New York. USD tests 1.0900 ECB rate decision. Inflation and growth data ahead. A very busy week ahead with the latest ECB rate decision, Euro area inflation, and growth data all hitting the screens in the next few days.
Global economy.
January 30th, 7:46 America, New York. European stocks and U.S. futures dip ahead of interest rate decisions. Fed expected to raise rates by 0.25 percentage points and the BOE and ECB by 0.5 percentage point this week.
New York Times Business.
January 30th, 7:43 America, New York. Nissan and Renault set to rebalance their car-making alliance. Seeking deeper cooperation on electric cars, the companies said they would resolve a years-long dispute that became the backdrop to Carlos Ghosn's downfall. A Nissan showroom in Tokyo. Global economy.
January 30th, 7:31 America, New York. Sovereign default problems that haven't found a fix. Zambia's landmark debt restructuring delayed by fundamental discord between China and other creditors.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
January 30th, 7:27 America, New York. Memory chip makers face a prolonged price slump. Memory chip prices, which dropped steeply over the past year, are expected to keep falling in the first half of 2023, putting more pressure on an industry that has already cut investments and jobs.
BBC News Business.
January 30th, 6:40 America, New York. Cost of living. 1 in 5 eating food beyond use by date. A similar number have eaten smaller portions owing to rising prices, with more struggling to stay warm.
BBC News Business.
January 30th, 6:17 America, New York. JD Sports says 10 million customers hit by cyber attack. The sportswear chain says stored data relating to its customers might be at risk following the attack.
Daily FX Market News.
January 30th, 5:58 America New York. USD, JPY hovers at key 130.00 level as range-bound trade continues. USD, JPY continues to fluctuate between gains and losses as the dollar index remains vulnerable. Will the Fed meeting inspire some renewed dollar strength?
Marginal revolution.
January 30th, 5:03 America New York. This is actually quite a common attitude toward science. On Christmas morning, Scarlett Dumato took a break from playing with her new toys, marched into the kitchen, returned with plastic bags and started collecting evidence. The half-eaten Oreo and a pair of munched-on carrots she'd left for Santa and his reindeer the night before.
Marginal revolution.
January 30th, 101 America New York, a possible health surveillance breakthrough. Yale researchers have found that testing for the presence of a single immune system molecule on nasal swabs can help detect stealthy viruses not identified in standard tests, they report Jan.